The city of Paris has become completely deserted. The streets are empty, and people have fled in every direction because the zombie virus has destroyed the entire city. The scene shifts, and we see a couple, the wife, Molly, and her husband, Eric. They are speeding down a desert road, heading toward the airport. Since there are too many zombies in the city, they have to take this isolated route. They're planning to go to Mexico because a friend told them that the zombie virus hasn't spread there yet, meaning it's still a safe place. After traveling for several hours, Molly starts feeling sick. She asks Eric to stop the car, but Eric says, "We've already wasted too much time. Stopping now before we reach the airport isn't a good idea." They take a short break to rest and freshen up, then get back in the car and try to leave. But they discover that their car has gotten stuck in a ditch. Both of them try hard to get it out, but it doesn't move an inch. Now they're completely stranded in the middle of this desolate desert. Eric gets angry at Molly. He yells, "It's your fault the car got stuck." They're both confused about what to do next. Eric tries calling his friend, the one they were supposed to meet, but before the call connects, his phone loses signal. Just then, Molly notices someone walking toward them from a distance. They think maybe it's someone coming to help, so they wait for the person to get closer. But after a while, when the figure finally comes near, they realize it's not a human at all. It's a zombie, heading straight toward them to kill them. Eric quickly runs back to the car and grabs his gun. But just then, Eric's phone slips from his hand and falls to the ground. He starts shooting at the zombie, but the bullets have no effect on it at all. Then one of the bullets ricochets and hits its leg, and the zombie collapses to the ground. Molly and Eric feel relieved, thinking they've killed it. But moments later, the zombie suddenly stands up again. Eric fires more shots. This time, the bullet pierces straight through the zombie's ear. Yet it still doesn't stop. Now Eric's gun is out of bullets, so they run back and lock themselves inside the car. But the zombie has already reached the car, furiously trying to break in and kill them. Still, since they're inside, they manage to survive for the moment. Time passes like this for a while. The zombie is still wandering nearby, showing no sign of leaving. Meanwhile, night falls. Eric had made a big mistake. During the earlier attack, his phone had fallen and he never picked it up. So now their phone is lying outside the car. They desperately need it, no matter what. So Molly quietly sneaks out of the car. Since the zombie isn't visible anywhere nearby, she quickly grabs the phone from the ground, but at that very moment, the zombie suddenly attacks from behind, leaping straight onto Eric. It bites deep into his neck and within moments, kills him instantly. Now Molly has to save her own life, so she grabs her essential belongings and escapes from there. Night passes this way. In the morning, Molly tries to call her friend. Finally, the call connects. Molly says, "Our car broke down, so we'll be a little late getting to the airport." But her friend gets angry and hangs up the phone. Then Molly opens her map and sees the airport is still far away. Still, she makes up her mind. No matter what, she will reach there. Molly starts her journey with her bag. After walking for a while, she hears the sound of planes in the distance. At that moment, she realizes there's no point in going to the airport now because all the flights have already departed. Still, Molly doesn't stop. She keeps walking. As night falls while she walks, she lights a fire in one spot to rest. In this state, she dozes off. Suddenly, a zombie attacks her. Molly barely manages to save her life, running away, and climbs up to a high rocky peak where the zombie cannot reach her. The night passes painfully. In the morning, Molly looks down. The zombie is still standing below. Quickly, she packs her belongings again and starts running. But the zombie slowly continues to follow her. Since it can't move very fast, Molly goes a little farther and rests. Yet after some time, the zombie comes close again. Molly tries to throw rocks to keep it away, but the zombie seems even more stubborn. It refuses to stop. Night falls once again. Molly lights a fire and sits down to rest. The next morning, she receives a call from her friend. He says, "If you can reach the airport by tomorrow morning, we'll take you with us. Otherwise, we'll head toward Mexico without you." This means Molly now has her last chance to save her life. She sets out on her journey again. By now, all her food and supplies are gone, yet the zombie still doesn't leave her alone. Molly begins to suffer from dehydration. Her head spins, but she can't stop, because if she does, the zombie will catch and kill her. At that very moment, a terrifying sandstorm appears from behind her. Huge waves of sand surge toward them with the wind, and before she can react, the violent storm engulfs them both. Molly falls and loses consciousness. After a long while, when she opens her eyes, she sees a car passing by. She screams for help, and the car comes to a stop. Inside the car were two people. They rush to help Molly and give her some water to drink. Crying, Molly says, "My husband was killed by a zombie. For the past 2 or 3 days, that zombie has been chasing me, trying to kill me too. I'm trying to get to the airport. Please, will you help me?" Both of them lift Molly into the car. Her bag wasn't with her, so she says, "My bag might still be back where I lost consciousness." The two people go to fetch her bag. Meanwhile, Molly sits inside the car and notices bloodstains on the seat. That's when she realizes these people are not good. Just then, they return with the bag. They say, "We also want to go to the airport. You show us the way." Molly points them toward the airport. But then, they drag her out of the car and start attacking her. One of them raises a knife, ready to strike Molly. Terrified, Molly screams. Hearing her scream, the zombie, the one that had been chasing her all this time, suddenly becomes active. The zombie rushes at the man attacking Molly and kills him instantly. Seeing that, the second man gets frightened, jumps into his car, and speeds away. Some of his supplies and food fall out of the car. They land right beside Molly. Among those items is a large bag, a boat bag/drag bag. Molly packs all the things into that bag and then starts pulling it along as she walks. Now, Molly is in very bad shape. She can't walk much farther. Then, an idea comes to her. She ties the bag to the zombie's body so that the zombie will slowly drag the load behind it as it walks. Night falls this way. By now, an odd relationship has formed between Molly and the zombie, a kind of strange friendship. Molly begins to tell it the story of her life. "I used to be a dancer. I got married at a very young age. Then I had a son. But I was so young that I couldn't take responsibility for him. So I gave my son to my older sister. Even now, she's the one caring for him. My son is still with her." The next morning, Molly and the zombie reach the main road. Molly hopes, if a car passes, she will call for help. Shortly after, some army vehicles arrive there. Molly quickly hides the zombie because she knows if the officers see the zombie, they will kill it on the spot. Then Molly approaches them. At first, they mistake her for a zombie and are about to shoot, but Molly screams, "No! I'm human! I'm normal!" Hearing this, they stop shooting. But at that very moment, the zombie suddenly emerges from behind. The officers quickly raise their guns toward it. Molly tries to explain, "This zombie isn't dangerous. You don't need to be afraid of it." Still, one officer fires at the zombie's leg. The zombie falls to the ground and becomes furious. Molly tries to calm it down, but at that exact moment, the zombie bites her finger. This means Molly will now turn into a zombie too. She is shocked and terrified, so she quickly grabs a rock and strikes her own finger with force, cutting it off. This way, she won't turn into a zombie. By now, the army officers have left the area. Molly slowly goes to the zombie and tries to help it up, but it is so exhausted and injured that it can't stand. At that moment, Molly sees the airport in the distance. She tries to lift the zombie, but its body is covered in wounds. It's clear that it's suffering immensely. Molly realizes it's no longer right to make it suffer. Holding back her tears, she picks up a rock and strikes the zombie on the head. With a single blow, the zombie falls quietly. Its suffering finally ends. Molly's heart breaks. She feels immense guilt, but wiping her eyes, she resumes her journey. Finally, Molly reaches the airport, where her two friends were waiting, the ones who had promised to take her to Mexico. Before leaving, Molly calls her older sister. Her son answers the phone. His voice trembles with fear as he says, "Mom, I'm trapped inside the house. Outside, there are countless zombies trying to break into the house and kill him." Hearing this, Molly is terrified. She begins to fear. Perhaps the zombies have already killed her sister too. Now, Molly decides she cannot leave her son behind and go to Mexico, so she cancels her plan to go to Mexico and heads toward her sister's house instead. Meanwhile, her friends board a plane and fly toward Mexico. Molly takes a car and reaches her sister's house. All around, there is only destruction and silence. The entire area has been devastated by the zombie attack. Molly enters the house and sees her sister and brother-in-law lying dead. Seeing this, her heart breaks. She then goes to her son's room, where the little boy is curled up inside his tent, trembling with fear. Molly picks him up and comes downstairs. Outside, 10 to 12 zombies are banging on the door, trying to break it down. Molly tells her son, "Don't go an inch away from me." Then she opens the door, raises her weapon, and one by one takes down all the zombies. Finally, Molly is able to save both her and her son's life. And that's where the movie ends.